Do you do this? Here we go. Hi everybody. Welcome to Livestream tonight. Kids are in bed. My other half is out getting drunk, hopefully. So I thought I'd do a bit of Stormworks for you, and I wanted to do a live stream tonight just because it gives me an excuse for not editing. So I believe I set up no, I haven't set up I did set up a session for this tugboat storm sea trials, but it's gone. But it won't take me a minute. I'll just show you what I'll do. See if anybody connects during this time. So the first thing I wanted to do is to bring in something to push, something big, but something that works in the standard Creative Island base. I don't want to. Well, I just haven't had the time to set up my custom base. This is an amazing ship, as you see. It's automated. It spins forward, mast goes up, and it's a pretty cool ship. So up here in the bridge, you can get this thing going pretty quick. We will start the engines, fuel pumps. So there she is, she's going. So I'm just going to take her out. It's got a really good gearbox system. Let's just get her in bad shape here. Hey Hushy, I see Hushy's online. Hope you're doing something cool. Right, so it's got a gearbox that does go into negative. That's not quite right, so let's get it down to... Right, so she's basically in tick over, not doing any significant speed. I'm just going to fly over, and I'm going to spawn in the first tug. So the first one, I think these were from a tug challenge. I'm not too sure if it's Cool G or is it Hushy, whoever does it. There we go. So these are the two that I'm going to be testing tonight. If I get a bit of time, I might add this full-size Dammon one, but we're going to start with the CGW2 Striker from JSI, I think it is here. And this is a beautiful, cute little tug, but it's got actually a proper tugboat hull form here. So they tend to look like that. They've got it basically helps them to turn and to pivot. It allows you to have basically full flow over these propellers at the back. I can see there's a little rudder as well. That's just a Stormworks specific thing, but let's bring her in and see what she does. So the Forte is not going off into the distance, which is a good thing. So we'll be able to bring her back here. So I'm not going to give you the full tour tonight. We're just going to get straight in and start doing a bit of tugboat action. So, oh, hi there, whoever's watching. We're just going to jump in here and start her up. So, not familiar with all these vessels. I use them sort of quite rarely. Engine ignition on. Oh, fuel pumps, cool pumps. Right, very quiet engine. Alright, it's one of these ones you need to leave that on. So let's just get her going. So she's got two, it's very simple, two pods. So you can see there, it seems to be that the steering there is limited on them, so you don't get them to go backwards and all this kind of stuff. But she's very powerful for her size, as you might expect for a tug. So let's just give her a full blast for a bit. They're not super fast actually, but she's nice there. 9, 10, 11, 12, quite a realistic speed. Just Just wanted to see if there's any other modes there. It's a very simple ship, and I like it because of that. It's got very good maneuverability, not too fast, not too slow. So what we'll do with this one is we'll just try and push her back a little bit into place. So we'll do a bit of pushing and we'll do a bit of tugboat stuff. So you can see I'm going backwards here. Not too sure what I've done. I hit reverse. Help! Ah, it just takes a long time. Alright, so I'm going to have to be aware of that. So this got a nice push protection pad on the front. Ah, we're going backwards again. Is there any kind of gauge where I can see I'm going forward or backwards? Oh, look at this. Uh-oh. So there's something a bit weird there. I don't know if it's lag. Alright, 22 forward, let's go full ahead. We'll do it inside here. Seemed to be a bit of lag there that was stopping me from controlling this the way I wanted it. Oh. Something odd going on here, guys. Come on. Very odd. Reverse active. Does anybody know? Alright, so this is maybe something that's been, this ship may have been a bit of a victim. So throttle is going back and forwards and then all the way back. Destination reach. Autopilot is off. Alright. So it could be this anti-collision system. Yeah, looks. Alright, we sorted that out. So there's an anti-collision system, which if you get into collision mode, it was automatically putting the ship into reverse. It's quite nice. I wish I'd known about that, but that's how you learn. It's going to bring her in nice and slow. So I've just been able to touch a bit of reverse there. I can see the props going in the other direction. Going forward now. Actually, it's pretty useful to have this readout here. 0. Right, we're going to touch now. We're going to drift up. So physics, as we all know in Stormworks, are a bit funny. But if you do take things easy and you do things slowly, you can actually get pretty good kind of simulation of tugboat operations. So I'm pushing against here. You would have a little bit of throttle on to keep basically the pressure on, so you're not sort of banging against the side of the vessel here. And I'm just slowly increasing the throttle there, and you can see that she's moving quite nicely. The Forte, you can see there, is moving along quite nicely. I've come up to against the tugboat point here, which is quite appropriate. This is where you push. It's where you have a little bit of reinforcement. That's where these T's are there. And it's typically where you've got a little bit of reinforcement inside the vessel. I don't know how accurately you need to be on top of that, but I'd imagine that you do need to be pretty much right on it, because you'd only get the a sort of what you call stiffener, extra stiffening at that point. So once we've got our anti-collision off, you can see here this little tug is pretty maneuverable. So we're pulling back now, and we'll go and so there's kind of a magnetron effect there, as far as I can tell. We'll go forward. So now that my anti-collision is not interfering, I can use sort of full throttle values and use the maneuverability. So we'll go over to this rear tug, this aft tug point here. So as I said, you'd want to get that right in the nose. It's a shame. The one thing that's a little bit of a shame is that there's this beam right in the middle, which is actually where you want to see out, but let's just do a little bit of exterior view here so we can get that right on the nose. So as I said, there's extra stiffening in the vessel where you've got these tugboat points. and it basically makes sure that you're not deforming the vessel at all. So there we go, a little bit of tugboating in this little one here. I'm going to just push the back in there, and I'm going to disengage, and I'm going to do a little bit of so that's a bit of pushing. So tugboats, especially harbour tugs, do a lot of pushing like that. So I quite like this, the way that this handles. It's got the right amount of inertia, it feels like. So when you throttle down, it does take you a while to stop. That's all within the sort of the realms of a fairly good simulation. Again, you know, this is a game which has got so much stuff going on that it's amazing how good the ship driving simulation is. Let's back up here. I'm going to put the main tow line on, so we'll just use a bit of throttle to stop her there. Don't want to be that close. Alright, back to a stop. So, if anybody's watching this, I'd like to know how you do your tug operations. I basically have been just trying to get close like this. Every ship is a little bit different. So this one is not really what I'd expect there. Can I go there, winch out? No. This is not quite what I expected there. Let's see if we can undo this. One thing which we can do is see if we can get us up and undo that rope in the back. Rope anchor. Looking for your comments here, if anybody's can help me. Okay, right, get rid of the hose, which is that, and then detach cable, which is that, and then do mad jump. So this is where I get stuck. I've got a cable in my hand. I have to use the cheat mode. Oh, again, I use the cheat mode to just get onto the vessel, and then I can usually tie this on. So, okay, I've learned that cables don't go into rope anchors. So we'll chuck a cable in the floor and we'll get a rope. I think there are ropes in here. No. Hose doesn't connect either. I need a rope. Are there any inside here? Alright, what's the deal with cables, guys? If you know, help me understand why I can't connect a cable to one of these tie-off points there, or what I should have done with this connector. Has it got a magnet grip? No, deck mags, winch mag, oh maybe. Alright, let's go back and do this. Left hand there, left hand there. Winch mag on. Come on with me. Winch out. Seems to be different techniques of doing tugboats here, so let's just stick this on. Now that should still be in my hand in an ideal world. Can't jump on this boat. Cables underneath. It's all gone wrong. And there's no ladder to jump up on this vessel. Alright, tugboat operations are not as easy as I thought. Basically want to connect a rope between one of those points there. Actually two would be ideal, but all I've got is cable. This thing doesn't seem to want to come with me, so I'm really not too sure what you do with that. Grab mag stuck on the deck. That's on. Now it's not stuck on the deck. So what do I do with this? Do I try and do a crazy jump? No. Do I let go of it here? Ah, you see, this is where it's become a bit ungraceful. Now my winch mag is probably swimming around on the bottom. Yeah, this is not, for me, it's not doing it in terms of the kind of tugboat simulation that I want, where there's some easy way to connect. All right, that's connected. Let's see if it's powerful enough to tow. So no steps. It's a bit of a shame on this boat. Makes it hard to do these kind of operations. Right, we'll give her a little bit of power. So we're magnetized onto the back of this boat, which is not my preferred way of doing it. And oh, yeah, so mag lock just comes off. So this little boat, it's a beautiful little tugboat. It handles well. It's just not set up for doing actual tug operations. So there you go, some pretty good tug ballet there. If the creator of this is watching it, I love your boat. Please just let me know how to tug things with it. Right, so let's go into this TFK HT52. This is by, it doesn't have the author here. I will give you some credits later, but it's an absolutely awesome thing. So this thing is very special. This thing is basically one of the most amazing creations I've seen in Stormworks. So what the creator's done here is they've recreated the Voith Schneider propulsion system, if you like, here, which consists of basically two sets of vertical blades. So they're kind of oh, you're not, my webcam is turned off. Let me turn that on for a second. So these blades kind of rotate like this in a vertical position, so that, well, you can't really see, but imagine a cylinder vertical with the blades are sticking down, and it turns around and around in this vertical fashion. So it's not like a screw propeller at all, it's in a vertical. And the blades, what happens is each blade will change its angle of attack, so that the blades at the back are basically pushing forward, the blades at the front are neutral power, and it's a really cool system. And they've done all this with scripting, as far as I can tell. I'm not too sure it's actually propelled forward, but these things actually spin round in a way, at least that reflects how the vessel's operating. So let's get in this. It's a really an amazing thing. So first of all, it's using up a little bit more of my CPU, I'm seeing here, physics-wise. It's an absolutely beautiful design. These really cool paint blocks here. I'm not going to give you the full tour of it in this live stream, because live streams get a bit long like that, but there's a nice interior space here. This goes down to the engine room, where I believe it's got modular engines. Yeah, and these engines might actually be so this is the important thing. These are actually over those Voith Schneider propellers, which are sort of vertically in the water underneath this. So these are a simulation, if you like, a visual simulation of the hydraulic equipment that turns these things around and controls them. And then through here, we've got these awesome engines, which are from another creator, actually. These are modular engines by a guy in Sweden, I believe it is, or Scandinavia at least, who creates these engines that look really like real marine diesels. And I guess they've just been plugged in here. So these are cool modular engines here. We can turn them on in here. I'm not going to do that from down here, because I think I can do it from upstairs as well. And then this is your Voith Schneider room. So you've got your shafts there, or it could be diesel electric, some kind of system. Not too sure exactly how that works in reality. But Voith Schneider, pretty much a propulsion system only used in tugboats and some ro-ro ferries, as far as I know. So this one is well equipped here. Let's just get driving it first of all. Climb up the ladder there. We can go up these ladders from these stairs from the front there. Just need to watch out for that door because it does kind of kick you out. Right, let's get it going here. So bridge power on. See, you've got a chair which slides in, which is awesome. That's pretty much it, I think. Cruise control, okay. So this is one of these ones where I don't think the engines start automatically. I can't see. Yeah, so those things are not rotating. I do need to start the engines. Let's see where this is. So main switch, engine 1. Let's hold it for a bit longer. So that's typical of the modular engines. Holding its RPM. A little bit faster, okay. Temperatures pretty much low, okay. So we're going, engines are on, would let them warm up normally. Now, yeah, so you can see there that basically these two things are rotating towards each other. It's like a whisk, an egg whisk that you would use. And basically what that means is that they're cancelling each other out, so the ship is not going anywhere. And now, as far as I remember, this is a push to go forward, so I've just tapped W here, but you can see I move away really smoothly, and you can see that these things are spinning faster as I move forward there. So this Voith Schneider system is really amazing. You tend to have this big skeg at the back, gives it some directional stability. I don't know if it grounds out on, if it goes aground, it allows it to be stable. But as you can see there, we're going off at a good speed. But the thing about Voith Schneider is it just gives you absolute ultimate maneuverability. So we can turn on the spot here, and again it's just a specific way that these blades are turning. And I think if we go left to right, we might even see them change slightly, not too much. But basically you can go left and right, you can strafe or sway directly left and right as well. So you can basically, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees of freedom there, pretty much forward and backwards. 3 degrees of freedom. But basically that's as maneuverable as you can get with a boat. So let's do a bit of pushing with this one. We can come in at an angle. So this thing is really powerful. What I've noticed is that it's so powerful that it can kind of flip when it's pushing vessels around. There's a sticky mode, so what I'm doing just now is tapping keys to get into position, and this is just giving me that sort of maneuverability. But once you're sort of pushing, or if you're in a cruise, you can use sticky mode. So you can see there how I can strafe to the right there. This really makes it easy to get in position. So we'll do a bit of pushing. You might see this kind of physics bug if I push her ahead here a bit too much. She's got absolutely no problem to push this big ship. And what I can do there is do sticky mode, and then any throttle which I give stays on, so she's pushing at a constant rate there. And you can just see the wake coming off the forte there that shows she's moving along quite nice. I'm going to take sticky mode off and pull back. So there's kind of a little bit of a magnetron that happens with the vessels, you'll notice. So you do need to watch when you're going backwards, the rotation there is backwards. But as you can see here, I can bring this in very quickly into position compared to the other one. It's also happens to have a bridge where I can see, I've actually got it's almost like an aiming reticle where I can see through the forward winch eye to get right into position. So there we go. Bit of key tapping there. And she comes up snug. So I'm just tapping there, 20%, 8%. You can see that the big ship there has been absolutely pushed around quite rapidly there. It's got loads of power, loads of torque, which is what you need in a tug. So ultimate maneuverability, really cool exterior design, and just really good at pushing. So let me just break away here, and I want to push this backwards a little bit. So it's not something you would do in real life, is to push on the bulbous bow. You might push on the stern, but it's also unlikely. And we'll rotate around here and strafe a little bit into position. So just an amazing design. The scripting that's gone into this to make it behave like this is really impressive for me. So we're just going to push on the bulbous bow. Let's see what we're getting from outside. You wouldn't do this in real life because it would damage. As you can see there, we're not getting the bumpers, we're just hull against hull, and you would damage this big boat here. But I will give it a bit more power, so you can see how fast this boat is pushing this huge one back here. So I'm going to push it into position. I'll just try and do my tugboat captain's job here. So again, there's a good amount of inertia, so you need to think about your controls sort of early enough to stop your turns and to stop her from sort of ramming too quickly into the vessel. So I'm going to break the rules here. I'm not going to push on the tugboat points. I just want to get her into berth here. So you can see that in Stormworks we can actually berth vessels in a somewhat realistic way. So we're going to hit here on the front. Can already tell. So I noticed here the little bumper that's on the front of this vessel does do a little bit of physics. It's doing something funky there, which is pretty interesting. You really got to watch your speed. Basically, if you give it full power, it will kind of roll this whole Boscalis Forte over. It's like the water resistance and the physics kind of freaks out. So you can see there she's leaning into it slightly there. And again, you try and get both of these on so as not to damage the vessel that you're shunting. I guess it's called shunting. It's called shunting in rail terminology. There you go. The front will come in against these tires, and then the back. There she is. And if you're playing multiplayer, that's when you get your crew out on your Forte and you'd say, all right, guys. So it does stick a bit there, which is a bit odd. You'd get your multiplayer crews out and you would tire up. And in a storm, in Stormworks, that is all really cool because the wind does affect the vessel as well, what you're doing there. So it's really pretty amazing simulation considering what's going on here. So I'm going to do one final thing. Going to get in position for a tow, and I've got a bit of a technique to tow on this one that I've worked out. So the previous one you probably saw there, I hadn't figured out how to do it. And this vessel, I'm going to get her a little bit more forward. Alright, I'll do. Chair goes back, I think. We'll just come out the side door here, go around the front. So the nice thing about this, like proper tug, you can pull from the front and the back, so you can put your hawsers, as far as I remember it's called, your tow rope, through that eye, attach it on there. Unfortunately there's no physics against that, so the rope just kind of boings off into the above it, but that's what that eye is for there. It's to basically keep your tow vector low, and you'll see why in a second. So in real life you'd go from your main winch through that, and then the rope would go up to your vessel. So what we're going to do is going to grab a rope, and this thing, as far as I remember, I did have a bunch of ropes handy, so forgive me again for doing a bit of a search here for equipment. Nope. Dunny. Should have ropes everywhere, tugboat, you'd think. Ah yeah, I got it. So I've got this rope now on me. So this is the technique that I've found that works. Normally, I think to do it properly, what I would do is take 2 ropes, because there's not a central eye here. But I'm going to attach here, and then because I can't fly with the rope in my hand, I'm going to swim. And this is where, first of all, jumping is a bit tricky. Excuse me. Anybody knows how to help me here? Come on, catch. This is where the whole thing of live streaming becomes not so cool. Yes, right. So I've got this rope in my hand, and this is where I'm praying that the rope doesn't get too tight. It's already tight. So I'm swimming towards the tug. So the rope is stretching out. As far as I know it does in Stormworks. Bit by bit. Painful to watch. Come on, give me an F. Look at that. Ah. I just need to get a tiny bit closer. Ah. This is what happens. So this is my problem. Got the tow rope in my hand. I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. We're going to do physics medium. This will give me a bendier rope, basically. A stretchier rope. Ah, this is annoying. Right. Finally, so we've got our rope in our hand, and now I can attach it to the winch. So it doesn't go through this eye here. I'm not going to bother with the second one because it's a bit of a pain. Or shall I? Shall I do it properly? Ah, it's my live stream. So we've got this rope. Roll the mouse wheel. The rope is in my hand, and I'm going to fly up and do a proper bridle. Oh, yeah, that's tied on. That's tied on. And again, we get into jumpy time. So the trick is to get high enough to jump over this thing. It's a good design. It's just the right number of blocks so that you can't jump over it. Painful for watchers, I know. And wee, nope. And wee, nope. Ah, God, guys, sorry about this. Here we go. Right, so we've got the other tow rope. Physics are on medium, which is going to help me to stretch the rope out. You can see there, it's stopping me swimming forward from time to time. So we do something clever and swim past it. Right, just bear with me. Okay, so we're on. That's a bit more graceful. So I've got second tow rope, and that's just going to go onto winchy like that. So it's not symmetrical, which might be a bit of a problem, as you'll see. And that's us ready to tow. So we're ready to do some tug action finally. So unfortunately they're not symmetrical. What I'm going to do now is put on this sticky mode. I'll give her just a tiny bit of throttle. So I've got to do that with the keys. So you'll see why now that these tow ropes are not through that eye at the bottom. It means that it's lifting up the bow. of the ship, because the angle to the winches there is wrong. So it should be going through that eye at the back there where the stripy yellow is, where I'm just looking at right now, and then you would get a better towing angle. So if anybody knows how to do that in Stormworks, it'd be really cool. I've done this bridle like that just so I'm not getting asymmetric tow, and as you can see here, we're towing this thing with just a tickle of throttle. I'll just bring it up a bit, 28%. And there's obviously an optimum tow speed, because if I increase the throttle, I basically I'm tapping W just now, so you can basically see I'm doing a wheelie, and I don't want to have that. Basically I want it to be a sort of at least a little bit realistically, so I've just backed off here. Let's back off a lot and just let it catch up. The other thing I can do is turn my physics back up to full, so this will bring her in a lot closer. Basically it makes the segments in the ropes do more calculations per second as far as I know. But there you go, there's a really nice tow boat operation going on. And let's see how she can turn. Let's see if I can turn this thing back into port. So you probably wouldn't do something like that and get your lines all loose. So I'm still going forward at a constant speed as far as I know. One line gets tight. Yeah, so it's just got a lot of tow power, this little vessel. It's got really good torque. So you can do stuff like this, which is just really cool. Hello, whoever's watching. So I love games where you can tow things. It's something that's just made for co-op stuff, right? Have somebody up on the Boscalis, have them throw a rope down to you, which doesn't really work in Stormworks, but the fact that you can tie ropes on, build ships, simulate Voith Schneider systems like this thing underneath here, it makes it absolutely an amazing game. And don't forget, every single item on this vessel is kicking out some information. So you can see there, that's all this kind of information getting kicked out of the equipment on board this vessel. Temperature, all this IoT stuff here, it's just insane. Let's get back in the captain's chair. So look at that, we turned around this massive ship and we can do some other stuff, I'm assuming. So I can still strafe to the side like that, just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm strafing to the side. That allows me to keep my hull length still forward and aft in respect to the tow rope. So I've got the maximum resistance to pulling over. Because there are things like, you get in a situation like this, let's say you turn full beam on, and I try to strafe, and it will pull my tugboat over. Well, it's not actually, that's interesting. You see these pictures of tugboats getting, oh, I've just given her a bit too much power. You see a lot of videos of tugboats being capsized, and that's usually what's happening there. See if we can get her out of the way. There you go, that's a nice bit of tugging, I reckon, there. Just going to turn this off. See if I can jump up on this tire. That's how stuff goes wrong in real life. And it's docked. So a lovely day for a bit of tugboating. I think this is going to be, that's a pretty nice screenshot, isn't it, for the thumbnail. Let's try and do better thumbnails, David. Not with the railing, idiot. Right, screenshot. Thanks for watching my live stream. If you watch this later, sorry for being such a disorganized idiot. I just like doing these things mostly for my own purposes. I'm not very good at talking to them, but yeah, if you're watching this for the first time, I studied naval architecture a long time ago, 20 odd years ago. I do work in the marine industry, working with 3D CAD software. I still know a little bit about ships, so that's my channel. It's the sort of amateur naval architect does games. Thanks for watching the live stream. That was the tugboat tug off. I think this Voith Schneider thing here with a funny name definitely won, although the other boat is really beautiful, really good for pushing the ships around. Let's hope that one day I make some friends and we could do some multiplayer tugboat stuff in Stormworks. I would like that as well. So take care everybody, stay healthy, and I'm going to stop the stream for now. Bye bye.